past weekend, Jurassic World Dominion dropped in theaters, so today we're going to stop and rank all 6 Jurassic Park Final Battles from the worst to the best. Hi, my name is Sean, and I love to talk about movies and TV way too much. With that in mind, go ahead and join me down below in the comment section. Share your ranking of the Jurassic Park or Jurassic World Final Battles. My list isn't the right list, it's just my list, and I would love to see yours. As I go into this, I'm looking at 3 criteria here. How good is the spectacle or thrills? How good does it pay off emotionally? And the third one on there is how satisfying of a conclusion is it to the story itself? And let's get started. In last place, Jurassic Park 3. And the problem here is that this is a movie that doesn't really build to a climax. It kind of builds to 3 different climaxes that each close out a different kind of plot beat or deliver a different aspect of the final battle that you want. None of them are all that exciting. None of them pay off particularly well. And all of this is due to the fact that the movie went into production without a complete script. The movie very infamously had a troubled production where they struggled to decide on a story that they were all happy with, which led to a scenario where they cast the film, were building sets, were designing dinosaurs, and then 6 weeks before they started filming, they threw out the script and started over. And that's really what you see in the third act of this film, where the 3 ends in a row are they have a nighttime boat sequence where the Spinosaurus attacks them. So that one gives you the big spectacle that you kind of want with the dinosaur that's been chasing them the whole movie. And then we go to the next scene where it closes out this whole plot line about the raptor eggs, as well as the raptor 3D printed raptor skull whistle thing that can communicate with raptors, which doesn't make a lot of sense. And then you have the conclusion of the main plot line, which is them being rescued from the island, where it's just like 3 things that kind of happen in sequence that kind of, all right, we got to close out that dinosaur, give us some spectacle. All right, we got to close out the dinosaur eggs, so we got that one. And then they turn a corner and the military shows up. Credits roll. None of it, it's not like any of these are like super memorable, cool sequences with thrills or excitement. None of them are like emotionally satisfying of like, wow, they did it. Oh, they survived. No, it's just closes out it ties off each of the loose ends so the credits can start rolling in. Oh yeah, Billy's alive. He got saved somewhere in the mix too. So it's just kind of there. In 5th place, Jurassic World Dominion. And to me, this is the one that I feel like just squandered all of the obvious possibilities for a great third act. And I'm not sure why, because as you move into the end of this movie, we combine the cast of both Jurassic franchises together. We're at a compound with an evil Apple CEO guy that is willing to kidnap kids and desperate to keep all of his nefarious activities secret, and thus would have the resources to have mercenaries on site to be tracking down our cast from the first 2 movies. We are in a forest that's on fire, and the dinosaurs are all being pulled back into the building where our characters are at. On paper, that's like 4 layers of conflict, tension, and urgency that should converge together into a thrilling, exciting escape sequence with hijinks, with danger, all the stuff that you want in the third act. But as you move into it, it's devoid of any tension. It's like, oh yeah, let's get a helicopter and we got to go get Beta from down in the basement and flip the breakers real quick. Yeah, then we'll get out of here. Even as all of our characters run into a little park filled with all the dinosaurs, predators, herbivores, all the dinosaurs in this one little park, they run into there. This should be like really tense and like, oh no, we're in danger. And you literally have Alan Grant be like, this isn't about us. We can just run over to our helicopter. And it wasn't about them. I mean, I just don't understand. And so it had all the pieces in place on paper to have a great tense finale. And instead, what you get is this kind of goofy little fan servicey final battle with the T-Rex and the Longonemosaurus battling it out to be the apex predator. And it's so set on winking at the audience that you literally have the dinosaur or the T-Rex walk in front of a circle so he can recreate the logo for the franchise. And the fight itself, it's only like 30 seconds long. The camera's doing this the whole time. And it's not like the T-Rex earns the victory. It's just he has to win. And so like he gets beat up and then he charges back, bumps into him, and the Longofingersaurus sticks his fingers out, and then our Longonemosaurus gets killed. And just nothing about it was all that exciting or thrilling. It was just so frustrating because on paper, there's so much potential here to have our lead characters on the run from the security officers while trying to escape before the building catches on fire, and everywhere they go, there's dangerous dinosaurs trying to attack them. But that's not at all what the movie actually did. So while it's better than 3, it's such a waste of all the potential. Next up, The Lost World. And this is one that on a spectacle level, it's fun to watch a T-Rex go full King Kong in San Diego. Have him walk through the suburbs, walk through some of the busier areas of the town. You get the fun of a T-Rex in our world, walking around and all the things that come along with that. It just doesn't at all fit on the rest of the movie. They set up a movie about Ian Malcolm going a bit on a rescue mission to the second island, and then it ties into all these other groups with their purposes with the dinosaurs, everything they're trying to do, and the movie becomes about escaping the island. They escaped the island and they went, we want an even more kind of fancy third act on this movie. So then it tacks on an entirely new story. What if you had a T-Rex in San Diego? Well, of course it would get loose. And so then that's what happens. And it gives you more spectacle. It's fun to watch in that sense, but it can't pay off anything that was set up in the first 2 acts, because that's not what the first 2 acts were about. There's nothing emotionally satisfying about, oh, the T-Rex went back to sleep in the cargo hold. It doesn't conclude anything that was going on with Ian Malcolm or any of the characters in the film. It's just a fun sequence to watch. And on a story level, on a character level, it's totally hollow because it's not what the movie was about at all. In third place, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. And in general, I'm not the biggest fan of this film. And a big part of that is because the movie takes this very strange turn and we end up at this mansion where they're doing a auction to sell dinosaurs to terrorists. And it just feels like, what on earth is going on in this movie? But it does create a third act for the film that has a bunch of things that I do think kind of work or have a little bit of emotional kick to them. So right off the bat, one of the things I think that did work in this film is I think the director knew how to create scenes with tension in them, and he would allow them to play out without having to cut the tension with a joke. Dominion cut all tension with a joke, especially in the third act, that kind of hurt the film quite a bit for me, especially when it comes to a list like this. The director of this film lets you sit in the tension. So you have some of these sequences where our Monsterosaurus is crawling through the mansion, the little girl's in her room and stuff like that. And it allows you to kind of sit there and feel the danger that she could actually be killed in this moment. It lets that happen and it pauses. It allows the tension to build before it goes into action. In which case, I dug that about this movie. It felt like a callback to the original Jurassic Park. Then when things do start to get a little bit more on the spectacle side, Blue gets in on the action. I'm down for that. I like, as long as we're going to go in this silly direction the Jurassic World movies are going, and really the silly direction this whole franchise has gone since the original Jurassic Park. I mean, Lost World, we got a T-Rex running around in San Diego eating dogs with the doghouse hanging out of his mouth. This was going silly pretty early on. If we're going to go in that silly direction, sure, let's have Blue team up with the humans to battle the Monsterosaurus Rex. And so they find just the right ways to outsmart our new dinosaur, let Blue jump off the roof, take him out, and get him impaled. I'm down for it. And then as you kind of move into the final little bit, like, as much as the final decision to release the dinosaurs raises a bunch of moral questions about what they're doing, as it also pays off kind of the journey that we've been on. Earlier in the film, we watched dinosaurs going extinct on the island. They're burning to death, they're drowning, and there was nothing that could be done to save them. And now we get to the end of the film and we have a second moment where the dinosaurs are about to die. They're about to go extinct again, except there is something that can be done. They have to make a choice that has big ramifications that you got to think about and ponder about, but it actually does follow up on something set up earlier, pays it off. So not crazy about this movie. There are a lot of moral implications to that decision that was made, but I think in general, there's tension. There's some fun spectacle in watching Blue team up with our humans to defeat the monster. And then the final choice that's made does have a little bit of a emotional spark to it as our clone human feels for the cloned dinosaurs and saves them. Our runner-up, Jurassic World. And so long as we're not going to make a serious Jurassic Park movie like the original one, so long as we're going to go into this much more mindless, ridiculous direction with the franchise, this third act is what I want these movies to deliver, which is Chris Pratt teams up with his pet velociraptors and the T-Rex and the gigantic Waterosaurus to battle Indominus Rex. So you spend the whole movie establishing that Indominus is truly a freak of nature monster that has no reverence for other dinosaurs, as if any of the dinosaurs have reverence for each other. But Indominus is hunting for sport, killing some of our beloved dinosaurs just because it doesn't know what it is. It doesn't know what it's supposed to do, and it's just eating things. So we hate the Indominus Rexes by this point in time in the story. And we're starting to like these velociraptors. We want them to have a redemptive arc because there were Owen's pet dogs in the first half of the movie. Then they turned on him in that sequence with the motorcycles and they decided that the Indominus was the alpha. And then they have their own little redemptive arc and they return to their master. The dogs become obedient again and they start working with him to battle Indominus, even though it means that several of them are going to die in the process. I wish they hadn't died so fast. I wish they'd done more. The way that played out, that's like my one complaint about the third act is that it like wipes out a couple of the velociraptors much quicker than I think they should have been wiped out. And I'm not sure that only one of them should have survived. I would have done that differently, but minor complaint there. Owen with a big gun shooting at it while velociraptors are taking out quickly. And then Claire goes, we need more teeth, goes and gets the T-Rex. So the big dangerous threat from our original, or I guess the first Jurassic Park film, he's back. They've said in interviews it is the T-Rex from the original film. He's back. Now he's on our side just a little bit because someone is trying to take over his island and he's not going to have any of that. And so you get to see a bunch of dino carnage. It's stupid. It's ridiculous. It ends with the humans and dinosaurs doing a little head nod to be like, we have an understanding. We understand each other. We took out the big bad. So maybe we'll be in danger again. But for now, thanks, bro. It's ridiculous. But that's the ridiculous that I wanted from this movie. If we're going to go dino monsters, this is the silly that I want. I am all on board for it. I just wish they hadn't killed off a couple of our velociraptors so quickly. But of course, in first place is the original Jurassic Park. Now, certainly this isn't as big and flashy of a finale as the Jurassic World films that have true final battles, true boss fight finales where dinos and dino monsters are actually clashing on screen and you get a bunch of crazy dino carnage. That's not what this is. This is a thriller. It's a dino thriller where people are in danger and you feel the tension. And not that there aren't little moments of levity in there, but they never actually break the tension. You feel, as we're trying to escape this compound, all of the danger. Where little things like, do the doors lock? Have the dinos figured out how to turn a handle? Have they figured out how to break through glass? Like, all of those things get you on the edge of your seat. So you feel way more excitement, thrills from two kids in a kitchen trying to escape than from all the CGI spectacle in a bunch of these Jurassic World films. Because you care about the characters, and the movie's convinced you all the little details matter, and Spielberg is at the top of his game, creating actual tension in a sequence. And then when they're rescued and we're crawling through the air ducts and stuff, and a little vent falls out, that is so much more exciting than all these crazy things that they've thrown in some of these other movies. Because you care about the little details, and you know that they might actually kill someone off. And as we're escaping, it even finds a way to tie in character moments, character development, where as they get to a vehicle to drive off, even Hammond has decided he's not going to endorse the park. And I guess we got to talk about it. And there you get that final little scare bit where our characters are trying to crawl out. They're surrounded by the velociraptors. And though it doesn't make any sense that a T-Rex can suddenly sneak up on you, the T-Rex sneaks up on them, enters a building, and goes to war with the velociraptors. And that's a big part of, I think, even what makes this one work more, is that this movie still treats them like creatures. Not like pets that are trained, not domesticated animals, creatures that are dangerous. That they're going after the humans when they see them, and then they're going after each other when they see each other. You can't just throw them in a corner in a little park like they do at the end of Dominion and expect that to like go well. No, they're dangerous, dangerous creatures that are willing to kill you or each other. And so you feel the actual danger. That's what makes this one so good. You still love the dinosaurs, but you're afraid of the dinosaurs. You feel what you're supposed to feel. And it even closes things out with Hammond finally learning something from the error of his ways and deciding that maybe this isn't the right way to go. So without question, of course, it comes in at number 1. If you enjoyed this video, I've got more Jurassic content just like it. You can check out my ranking of the movies right there. You can check out my reviews of each of the Jurassic films right down there. Thank you so much for watching, and keep talking movies and TV too much.